All right, so I'm going to show you guys with today's trades what was first off so difficult and how you would have identified this massive move. All right, this was the trade at the end of the day I was able to identify, not able to take it. I follow my rules. I had already taken three trades by this point. I had two winning trades and one loss. So decided to call it from there. That's just following my rules, following my system. I'm not going to break those. But this was the fourth trade that I had identified and mentioned everyone to take. Some people able to take it. Awesome to see. But let's go over what I saw here, what I liked, and everything like that. So we already have the actual trades up here itself. So we had right here, first breakout to the downside, weakness on the tape, weakness on the order book. Really liked what was coming in on the flow. As I was watching this play out, I saw more sellers than buyers. That was coming in fresh on the tape. What was already printed on the order book and was already printed on volume footprint was more buyers. That's what was present. But as we came back up and I was watching that, that's where I started to see the weakness. We got into that short position. So right when I called out shorts, it went into some profit, about 20 points, pulled back up a little bit, about 10 points, and then it decided to flush for the full 40 points. So that's where we got that majority exit because we were anticipating something I went over in the pre-market prep, which was 30,760 possible bounce area. Okay. So it does end up bouncing, ends up pushing through the level. Okay, fine. I got 40 points. I like it. I've done this before where we get a small reversal candle off the open, followed that's coming through with a big drop in the pre-market, right? So that last pre-market going into the open, you have a lot of people selling through. And I'm sitting here going, oh, this is going to be a morning bottom reversal and we're going to start flying to the upside. Makes sense. I'll go ahead and take that trade. So the first loss that I took, this was my second trade, which was right here. Right here. I entered for a breakout for calls at 30,833. Did not work. Did not work. What's an important lesson here? I entered this trade a little bit early, but I liked what came in on the tape. I simply got faked out. This is a drawdown or a downside of the strategy I use because I'm reading the tape. So if I'm reading the tape and I see my entry criteria and then I enter, and then a few seconds after I enter, I don't see any follow through. I'm watching time and sales. It's a little bit hard. That's the drawdown because this thing called spoofing can happen. People can spoof the orders on the order book level two. They can place those orders to manipulate the market with no intention of filling those orders. So remember, order book level two is intent, time and sales is reality. So as I'm looking at the order book here, I'm noticing, hey, none of these orders are being filled on time and sales. I'm more than likely going to get stopped out of this trade. I still need to wait and be patient because the setup makes sense. The technical analysis makes sense. All right. We have a red candle followed by a massive wick recovery, bounce of the 760 level, which I had in mind was a possibility. So that's my confirmation there. And now you have to think at this point in time that I've entered this, we have this massive push through the opening print, approaching the level I'm going to enter for calls anyway. So doesn't work out. Totally okay. Trade I would take 10 out of 10 times. Respect my stop loss on that right at 20 points, 20%. So stops out of the trade, then tries to come back up to the upside. Now that it's coming back to the upside, I'm seeing almost verbatim the exact same numbers, the exact same volume, the exact same confirmation. This time I feel more confident a little bit, but I am worried because overall volume was low. I'll go ahead and show you that real quick. Overall volume was low. I was not the biggest fan of that. I had already mentioned this at this point in time. I was saying how the tick volume was low. Normally, when we're this low on the tape, it can cause quite a bit of trouble. So as you can see on the open, 920,000, that's on the weak side. 630, that's okay. More so weak for the second 5 minute candle. 476. You know what I mean? Like volume is getting weaker. So that's what I'm telling everybody. I'm like, this trade might be short lived. We might not see much out of it. All right. So we get a little bit of a push, then it comes back. We're still maintaining that green delta. We're still holding the trade beautifully. It's still trying to push to the upside. And that's where we finally see that 58-point profit. Didn't see 58 points. I'm sorry, didn't realize that profit. It was 45 points was our last trim. That was the majority exit. But I was going for 902. So it was just shy of the next level because I was going for roughly around 70 points profit. So 58 was the peak. Then this thing reverses. Right now, I've taken three trades. That's three trades. That's it. I can't following my rules and following my game management, following my system. That's all I can do. I cannot force this. If I start to force trades, sure, a day like today it would have worked, but this is how you can start to burn yourself. This is what becomes an overtrader when you start to break your rules. So, for the very first time, as we're breaking through here, I identified this on the 1 minute. Let me go ahead and go to the 1 minute real quick to show you exactly what I was talking about here. So, on the 1 minute, I told everyone in real time, I said, hey, I know that this is not the best of news, but this is the first time we're finally breaking out. We're finally showing some weakness. I said that on the push. Then, when that green candle pushed up, I said, this is actually setting up really nicely. It's retesting 30,791. Okay. It's a level I have over here on my 4 hour chart. So right when I said that was on this green candle, and I said, let's watch this for to retest again for a rejection. It rejects again right at my level, starts to come back through. And when we peek over again at the volume, when we peek over at volume, because what's that candle? That's this candle right here, right? What do we notice on the volume, guys? What do we notice? Big volume. For once, we're getting some decent volume. And I'm telling everybody this is the entry criteria, right? This is it. It's going to dump. That's verbatim what I said. I said market's weak. It's going to dump. SPY was also weak. Our other confluence we had at the time, going over that as well. I like to use SPY for a confluence. I was mentioning SPY was also weak and wanting to set down through there to the downside because it was on this candle here that SPY was selling through. And I said SPY is more than likely going to continue to dump. And NVIDIA. I also use NVIDIA as another confluence. NVIDIA was also trying to sell through. As you can see, it was right here. And I said oh, sorry, I'm on Meta. Hold on 1 second. Click the wrong stock there. All right. Yes. So Nvidia was right here. It was coming through, and I said it's more than likely going to sell through this. It's going to give up this 209 level, and we can see a little bit of a push down. So all three happened at the same time, and that ended up leading to this massive, beautiful trade. Gave another entry criteria actually when we had already flushed and we came back up. I had someone ask me on the Q&A. Someone said, "Hey James, what do you think right now, like for an entry criteria?" And I said, or he asked me, where do I think the market's going to go? Is exactly what he said. And I said, look, I don't got a crystal ball. I said, but from what I'm seeing, coming up and retesting again, 30,730. I said, this thing's going to reject again. I said, I think it's just going to continue to dump. And sure enough, boom, another massive dump right when I called it out right there for a big 100 point plus. So this move overall, right, overall ended up flushing for 514 points profits. Now, luckily, I was able to, signal this to the community the best I could, right? Because I can't actually enter the trade, so I can't give like my fill if I'm not in the trade. But I was transparent about it. I told everybody I couldn't take it. Told everybody that was the setup, the criteria, what I was looking at, the increased volume, etc. And that's what would really give you a lot of the confidence in this trade when you're looking at the increase in the volume on that push, right? That follow through to the downside, and you're sitting here just looking at it, going, "Man, this is the first time you see an increase in volume and a break of structure. Increase in volume, break of structure. You got to give it a shot, right? If it fits your system. If I had a third trade, of course I would have taken this trade, but I did not. But just like all my other trades, I give them a shot. You have to ask yourself whenever you're going to take a trade, what's the worst that can happen? Okay, guys, let's back plan and figure out worst case scenario real quick. Let's say I absolutely butcher my entire trading year. Or let's just say I'm a beginner. So my first year, I'm more than likely going to lose money anyway. So first year I go in, I use prop firms. If you don't know what a prop firm is, essentially you're paying to borrow capital to make money. Your true risk is whatever the account costs. Most accounts nowadays are around $100. All right, all these codes that you see up there, those codes, it says max discount code Valor. It says Take Profit Trader, Lucid, and Apex Trader. Those are all the companies that we use for the prop firms. They're all linked below. Shameless plug. They're all linked below in the caption. If you need help or need to pick one of the websites, feel free to do some research on them. But they're all pretty reputable companies. They're all very solid when it comes to these prop firms. But this is where I'm getting this idea from. So your prop firm cost. This is normally what it's like for a true beginner. $100 an account. Let's say I blow. I'm keeping this on the low end. Um, 10 accounts a month. 10 accounts a month. Let's say that's what you blow. You just can't find any ground. So 10 accounts a month, that's $1,000 a month. A year goes by. How much money do you lose? Without getting it, there's not a single payout was made. You didn't make a single penny. You lost 12 grand. 12 grand. Okay. The amount of knowledge you learned the price action you learned, how much you learned about yourself as a day trader, the systems you probably developed throughout that entire year of trading. Remember, that's 252 trading days. That's a lot of expertise. Let's think two trades a day. Two trades a day. That's over 500 trades of experience for $12,000. When I first started day trading, I remember getting my options account up to 41 grand and I lost about $14,000 in a single day. In a single day, in three trades. I lost $14,000. So when you ask yourself, man, 12,000, 12,000 might sound like a lot to lose in 1 year. Ask anyone who's day traded for more than a year. They would probably laugh when you said, if you try to tell them 12,000 is a lot to lose in 1 year, they would probably laugh at you. And just know that there are people that trade options that are complete beginners and have no business doing so. They will lose more than that in 1 day and they will learn nothing. That day, I learned nothing besides to never trade with that type of money ever again. I was like, I'm never going to do this ever again. And I'm never going to revenge trade because it was a revenge trade that blew it on the second and third trade. If I just called it with my mistake was I wanted to enter a YOLO position before the market closed. So I entered a paper trade, but it was not a paper trade. I didn't even know how to paper trade. It was my actual money. I just thought it was a paper trade. And yeah, sure enough, I opened it up and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm down $6,000. That's like my legitimate money I just lost. So what does any beginner trader do? Panic and try to make it back right away. And that just led to me losing 8,000 more dollars. So it's a good lesson here. Use me as an example. It's never good to revenge trade. The word revenge is in there for a reason. You will get destroyed. Revenge always leads to you getting destroyed. It never leads to anything good. Um, so it's just one of those things you have to think about, right? For those of you guys that watch pretty much any type of Disney movie, anime, any movie in general, you always know the people that go for revenge, they always just life just gets ruined. They lose. They're the bad guys. It is what it is. So think revenge trading bad. Don't want to do it. Never want to do it. No matter what side you find yourself on, if the loss was a mistake or if it was on purpose, it does not matter. Not on purpose, but if it was planned for, does not matter. You do not get into the second trade for the sole purpose of making your money back. That's called a revenge trade. If my first trade's a loss and I attempt my second trade, it should just be because this is my setup and I'm just giving it a shot, man. It's my setup and I'm giving it a shot. The entirety of day trading is probability based decisions. Everything is based on a probability. There's always the chance of a loss, and that is okay. Because as long as we have a system that's mathematically profitable in the long run, that is the goal. We are never going to win every single day. You're never going to have every single trade be a winning trade. You just got to give it a shot. So, in pertaining to this, what really helped quite a bit today was volume footprint when it came to identifying this trade right here. The increased selling pressure was mainly coming through on time and sales. It was coming through on the order book, but it was very apparent on time and sales. But yeah, volume footprint was really painting the picture here. Just seeing the massive amount of sellers wanting to step in, the continued follow through. Right up here, how you would have identified, like, hey, it does look like it wants to continue to sell, because someone would look at this and go, this is a bounce. It's bouncing like it's over. What I see here is point of control forms, price comes up, rejects it, right? So on that 5 minute candle close, you can clearly deduce from here, hey, look, we have a massive decrease in the positive delta. You went from positive 86,000 to positive 17,000. You formed a point of control as a ceiling. You rejected it. You also closed right below your level. You couldn't even make it to the previous level to retest. Market's weak. It wants to continue to go. That's a safe deduction in setups like that. So hopefully this provided some value to you guys, man. I really do. I hope it did. Today was one of the more difficult days. I mean, the open was really tough. This last like massive trade I found at the end for everybody. I mean, truly, I'm very grateful for it. I'm grateful. I'm really happy. Even if someone couldn't trade it, I'm just happy they could learn from this because this is a really good learning point. I could have just as easily been bitter and upset and called it a day and been like, you know, my language, but been like, F this. I'm not trading. The market sucks, right? I could have been negative. Market sucks. I'm not trading this. I'm walking away. This is nonsense. Blah, 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 blah. What do? I stay there. I stayed extra overtime today, but it's like I stay there. Like, let's wait a second. The market is more than likely going to find a break of structure here. We just had to be patient and let it work itself out. So, and this is one of those things where you want to start adjusting your trading criteria and seeing how do you perform on third, fourth trades. Okay. You don't have to follow my system. By no means do you need to be copying me. just use me as a sounding board to deduce what kind of path you want to go on as a trader. So this is one of those situations where you could go, man, I notice I do really good on my fourth trades or my third trades. Simple, just track it in a journal that has a program like TradeZilla. Let me attach a tag to this trade, third trade after two losses, or it could be like fourth trade while I'm still green type of thing. So you've taken three trades, whether they were winners or losers, regardless, as you're green and you're wanting to take a fourth trade, A plus setup, everything aligns, but you're trying not to overtrade, start tracking this. If at the end of the month you've noticed that, hey, my fourth trade has an 80% win rate with a 2.2 risk to reward ratio, guess what? I have now just introduced a fourth trade into my trading system. I can now take four trades because my statistics are showing me, my journal is showing me that I'm good at that and I need to give it a chance. Right. So, all right, guys. Hopefully this helped you out. Really hope this class was really beneficial to you guys. Any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. Um, and that'll be it. That'll be it. All right. Moral of the story here is win, loss, doesn't matter. I'm not getting excited for wins. I'm not getting depressed for losses. Not getting upset at losses. It's just trading my system. The result is not in my control. What is in my control is my risk management and my entry. That's what's in my control. As long as I control those two, profits are somewhat predictable. Losses are definitely predictable. And I'm fully prepared for any type of result. Now all I have to do is trust the process. Right? It will pan itself out. So all right, guys. 1% better. Boom. Every single day. See you guys in the next one. All right. Peace out.